So it's pretty amazing just how many people have experienced suffering on a vegan diet. I was vegan for close to one entire year, and I did everything right, and I tried different forms of veganism, especially when I was experiencing suffering, to try to make it work for me. I notice every single day, like I'm running into so many like new faces, so many new people, more and more people I keep discovering on YouTube, on Instagram, through Facebook groups, and reading articles on Google, on the internet, but especially YouTube and Instagram. You can tell they're real people and they're documenting their journey, and they have videos from when they're vegan. And I even meet people in person. I meet people in person. Not often, but people doing keto I meet all the time. Carnivore, only here and there. But I constantly meet people, or I constantly discover new people every fucking day who experience suffering on a vegan diet. And when they switched over to eating more meat, their suffering improved drastically. And the less plant foods and the more meat they eat, the better they feel. Whether that means a paleo diet, a keto diet, a carnivore diet, or even just a balanced nutrition plan with animal foods. Because a lot of people experience deficiencies, no matter what people say about, you can get all the nutrients that you need on a vegan diet. Not exactly the truth. They only believe that because out of ignorance, because they haven't actually researched other people's experiences with nutrient deficiencies on the vegan diet. They don't want to see that. They're scared. And I was the same way. But when I started to see, when I woke up to the fact that I was suffering, and I saw so many other people who noticed they were suffering, I realized there was something going on there. And as soon as I removed all the grains, all the rices and things like that, the complex carbohydrates, and I added red meat to my diet, I felt so much better. And it's crazy because a girl I was dating at the time was transitioning into veganism, and she thought meat was disgusting. And I thought people who ate meat were disgusting. I thought, oh, they're eating meat, their body's putrefying, they're literally eating cancer, shit like that. They're literally eating cancer. Don't you know that shit rots in your intestine, even though it's completely digested in the stomach by stomach acid? And it's the plant foods that actually ferment by bacteria inside your stomach, and they feed bacteria. By the way, I don't know if y'all know this, but for the most part, the gut microbiome is a very experimental and theoretical science. It's a deep rabbit hole, and a lot of the theories people have on the gut microbiome has not been proven. And what we do know, though, is bacteria that lives in the gut microbiome, or at least when you eat plants, basically, you're feeding bacteria that is only existing in your gut to digest those plant foods. So when you eat broccoli, you're feeding a strain of bacteria that lives to digest broccoli. And the only reason you have that bacteria there is to digest broccoli. So, do we need that bacteria if we're not eating those plant foods? That's a good question to ask. Anyway, thinking about my experience as a vegan is funny. It's not funny, it's sad. It's fucked up, actually. I remember I'd wake up with like extreme fucking. Actually, I couldn't even sleep. But I remember we'd get up in the morning and I'd have extreme hunger. And I'd be super cranky, like hangry. And I remember just struggling to feel energized and satiated, even on 5,000 calories, which was very hard to eat. And I remember just pooping out salads, basically. It was horrible. And I'd ask vegans, and they'd act like I'm stupid. I'd ask other vegans for help, and they'd say that it's normal to poop out salads. They say, oh, that's the fiber. Don't you know what fiber is? I'm like, what the fuck? I'm pretty sure fiber is a breakdown product that happens after you digest these plant foods. You're not supposed to poop out, uh, you know, green and yellow fragments from carrots and salads. It's supposed to digest first, and then the fiber, the indigestible fiber, you shouldn't notice. It shouldn't be visible in your poop. Okay? Anyway, goddamn. I remember just being hangry, and I remember blowing up at the girl I was dating at the time, and freaking out at her because she was taking too long to order food or something, because I was just so fucking hungry. I was so mentally unstable. It was horrible. And I noticed the more carbs I eat and the less animal protein, the worse my mood is. And it is not a placebo at all. There's hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people now who all experience the same thing. All right. And it's worse. It's the worst in the raw vegans. Oh my God. They go absolutely crazy. Anyway, I remember going to my mom's house for holidays. And I never give a fuck about what other people think. But I just remember they'd be eating all their meat seasoned with MSG type spices, monosodium glutamate, and, their fucking sweet potatoes with marshmallows and brown sugar. And my mom always made amazing meals, But I remember having her buy me a bag of fucking spinach. Like, just having her buy me a whole pound of organic spinach, because that's literally all I was going to eat when I got there. I remember bringing a can of chickpeas and black rice, forbidden rice, and eating spinach with forbidden rice and chickpeas. And I think I put olive oil and maybe some apple cider vinegar on it or something, and seasonings and shit. And that was my meal. I remember I ate like an entire pound of spinach throughout that day. Not all in one sitting, but throughout that day. And the whole time I was there, I was farting. It was horrible. And this was literally within like 15 minutes of consuming it. And at that point, I was eating a vegan diet for over 3 months. And it was fucking horrible. I was farting, I was bloated, and I lost so much muscle mass. Number one, I couldn't sustain muscle mass when I was working out. And number two, I lost motivation to work out. And I just remember being chronically inflamed, and I just felt weak, injured, and lethargic. It was horrible. Let's not forget Vegan Gains. He dislocated both his knees. He's had shoulder injuries, and he says he threw out his back trying to take a shit. Does that really sound like a healthy diet? No, it sounds like he's an old man. He's only like 20-something. I think he's younger than me. So anyway, I remember eating that way at my mom's like Thanksgiving feast or whatever. And I remember everyone just like talking about stupid shit, And that's what they do. It's funny to me now. Now that I eat meat, I go over there and I just eat their meat, and I don't really care. It's funny. And I can talk with them and socialize. But when I was vegan, it all used to irritate me. I felt like they were all stuck in the matrix and they were discussing meat eaters. And it wasn't even that. I was just annoyed. I was chronically stressed for no reason. It wasn't because they were stressing me. It was physical stress I felt in my body because I was starving. I was malnourished. No matter how much chickpeas and greens and shit that I ate, I felt like fucking shit. And, so I can go on, but I only have 10 minutes to record this video. But I just want to say, it's really incredible how much evidence there is that a vegan diet is not healthy or sustainable and promotes malnourishment and deficiencies. And there's so many people that come out talking about how veganism destroyed their health and how meat saved their health. And it's really fascinating to me how many people will argue with you and call you a fucking idiot for eating meat, like in YouTube comments and Instagram comments and on videos and shit. But like, they probably haven't actually like researched these ex-vegans. And it's like they're full of shit. Anyway, leave your questions and comments down below, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.